Hey friends, it's Miss Ashley. Okay, I have not gone live like this in months, so I almost forgot how to do it. I don't know why it says preview mode on my side, but that's okay. How is everybody this morning? I'm gonna give everyone a few minutes to hop on. If anyone wants to hop on, maybe people will catch it in the replay. I know people probably have all-star games and fun stuff going on today. I'm gonna pull y'all up in the Facebooks. And if you want to comment in the chat, that'd be awesome. Ooh, say hi. Let us know where you're calling in from. It's like a radio show now. We are going to be painting an abstract painting today. That means there's very little rules, which I love. I will be honest, I have not painted, literally just on my own, not even just here, but I have not painted in about 2 months. That's crazy, you guys. It's actually kind of sad. I've been working on a bunch of other things, so that's fine, but I think I'm missing painting. So I was like, I need to paint. What could I do? Oh, I could go live with the kids. That'd be way more fun. So that's what I'm going to do. We're here. All right. I am going to move this screen over just a wee bit. Y'all can't see what I'm doing. I'm moving everything around on the computer. Okay. Let's have some fun. Let's see what goodies we've got today. We are going to be kind of using whatever you've got at home to paint with. You don't have to have a million things. You could, but you don't have to. And we are going to, sorry, I hid all the screens now. I can't find them. We are going to be using a lot of like recycled materials. So grab what you've got. If you've got plastic forks, if you've got bubble wrap will be awesome. I'm going to use bubble wrap today for my stars of sorts. And we're just going to paint. We're going to have fun. And then this will be on replay. So if you guys want to do it on 4th of July instead, my cat is about to come over here. If you want to do it on 4th of July with your family instead, go for it. You could totally do it. But this is just going to be a playful time of silliness. Why not? So I'm going to show you the box of junk that I keep around. Kitty cat, you got to go. The box of junk I keep around because it makes it fun for abstract art like this. So let me try to remember how to go back down to the tabletop. I clicked the button, but it didn't work. There we go, because I didn't click in the right spot. Forgot how temperamental that was. All right, so here's all my junk. Oh, shoot. Let's do it without the picture-in-picture from the last painting I actually did. Okay, so here's all the junk. This is just a box I keep in my art room, and I know right where it is, and I know there'll always be junk in it that I can find, so I like it. And I have it in little bins kind of sorted out so it's easy to get stuff out of here. Got things like random popsicle stick. You got one popsicle stick, just keep it. Throw it in a box of junk. I've got weird pieces like this because they have cool texture. This is from a nacho bowl from, I don't know, the jumpy place we went to a long time ago. I've got little pouncers because you can use these to like stamp little circles. I've got eyedroppers in case I want to squeeze some paint out. Or whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called. I've got some lids because these you can kind of swirl into your paint. And I've got a cork that has a big side and a little side, so I get 2 stamp sizes out of that, which is cool. Key cards, because if you don't have a palette knife, you could totally use this as a palette knife, and you can cut these up into all different shapes and have some fun with them that way. Got my strings. I keep my strings separate because I don't want it to get all tangled on everything. So strings got its own little dish. I've got some netting stuff from like a fruit thing, my ribbon, my little tiny cups I could pour if I wanted to. I've got feathers. This is a toilet paper roll that I just cut up into little strips and then I twisted it around. Usually it's taped, but it's kind of holding its form well. And then you can use this to make good, like, what are they? Dandelions? Dandelions, yeah. And then you could just, do this and you can stamp real cool stuff. This would actually make really great fireworks probably. So if you want to do fireworks, grab a toilet paper roll, cut the end of it. This is about, I don't know, 1.5 inches, 2 inches into the roll. And so if it was like a real toilet paper roll, it'd be bigger. So you just cut it up one side and then cut all the way around, little skinny bits, and then twist it up, and then you could tape it. Mine's been like this for probably 5 years. So this one, I've had this one for 5 years, you guys. So maybe 4, because I remember where we lived when I made it 4 years ago. These guys are stuck together. That's okay. You can make great fireworks with that. A brush for like the sink, that'd make fun stuff. A feather, you could drag the feather across. You can use the end to scratch stuff out. Super awesome. I haven't even used these little tools. I don't know that I would use those for today. A comb. A comb's a really great way to make some stripes. So maybe I'll keep this one out because, you know, the flag has stars and stripes. I know that I want to have the star idea today, but I'm not going to use stars. I'm going to use bubble wrap to make kind of dots for the star idea. I'm going to use, I think now, my comb maybe for some stripes. That sounds fun, and see if I can wiggle it through. Now, this would work better with acrylic paint than watercolor. So you're welcome to use watercolor. You're welcome to use anything you want. Crayons, oil pastels. Now, if you're going to use, let me go back up to this real quick. If you're going to use a mixture of different mediums, you're going to use, say, watercolor. You got to let that dry a little bit. So you might want to have a hair dryer on standby, or heat gun if you got a heat gun. But be careful with the heat gun because it does burn the stuff. But if you do want to work with different mediums, let it dry. So I could use oil pastels or crayons or even colored pencils on top of acrylic paint. But the paint has to be dry or I'll ruin all my other tools, right? It has to be wet when I'm using something like a comb. It's still okay if it's kind of wet. You could use this to pull paint off, or if you put paint on, you might get a cool mixture if it's still wet when you do that. So today's just all about playing and having fun. I don't know how many paintings I'll sit here and make. I said I'll be maybe around for, I don't know, an hour or so. But we'll just see. We'll just see how many paintings. It might be 1, it might be 25. It probably won't be 25, but it'll be something. So who's on? Say hello, say hello. I'd love to say hi. So I'm gonna open my sketchbook here, my gigantic mixed media pad. I was gonna use a small watercolor pad, and then I thought I wanna be messy, so I should go bigger. All right, y'all, I'm gonna go back down to the tabletop and we are gonna paint and see what happens. So color-wise, I'm limiting myself, and if you want to make it 4th of July, I would say do the same. But if you don't want to, again, it's abstract. It's all you today. But you can do exactly what I do if you want, or similar if you want. It's all good. I am going to be using red, white, blue, and black. I know, black is not one of the colors, but black is a great allowable color for everything, right? It's good for lines. It's good to kind of show details. It's good to kind of show what we want to show and accent things. So that's where we're going to go with that. You know what I did forget was my bigger paintbrush, so let me grab that. I need a good big round paintbrush. Now I'm going to use mixed media paper, and I'm going to use a watercolor to start. And then after that, I'm going to probably switch over to some acrylic and see what happens. So let me grab watercolor, brush, crayon. That's what I wanted. A crayon. Does anyone know where I keep my crayons anymore? Shout it out, because I don't know where I left my crayons. Oh, I could just use oil pastel. Oil pastel works. Oh, I think my crayons are here. It's been a while, you guys. This is sad. Okay, so oil pastel works. Crayons work too. Now, I love crayons because they don't smear and they still show up. So I like crayons. If you are one who drags your hand across the paper while you paint and draw and whatever, oil pastels can get a bit messy. But I'm going to use these actually on top of my acrylic later on. I'm going to start with the crayon since I found it. So I don't know, figure out which direction you want your painting to go. Do you want it to go vertical or horizontal, more like a flag? I'm going to do mine vertical. And I can just go in here with like a giant star if I want. Maybe I want to do a little swirl. Maybe I want some little stars. Maybe I just want some lines. Maybe that's like going to say, I don't know, fireworks. Let's just do a firework. Why not? I just did a little explosion of sorts with just some lines. you can't see anything. So just squiggle, squaggle, whatever. Maybe I want just some stripes down here. I don't know. What else should we do? Maybe a heart? Kids like hearts, right? I like hearts. Let's put a little curve in there. Now you can't see anything, but it's going to be magical, I promise. You kiddos who've done this sort of resist technique in class will know what I'm talking about. But you have to press hard and don't use a watercolor crayon. I don't know what that was for. Maybe I'll like it. Maybe I'll paint over it. So see, if we do things that we don't love, we just paint over it later on. I think I'm going to be done with that. So I'm going to take my watercolor, get my brush wet, and I love the Crayola 24 count. It's my favorite. And I'm just going to go dip onto this blue right here. Now, I'll show you a couple different things we could do. We could just paint straight over. And I can paint messy or I can paint nice and neat, right? Because this is my abstract. I'm not trying to stay in any lines. I don't know what I'm trying to do, just have some fun. Maybe I like when it starts to kind of do some of this, right? Okay, I think I'm going to turn that light down just a touch. It's not working, whatever. And then maybe I want to grab some blue down on the bottom. Let's do some blue over here. Now you see all those things that I drew are starting to come alive. Now this is called a wet on dry technique because we're putting wet watercolor on dry paper, right? So this is wet on dry. Now what I could do, I'm gonna go with a third spot because I like things to be odd when I do my art. Kind of like a little 3. It's kind of a little more interesting than 2 idea. So I've got 3. 1, 2, 3. We kind of move around like a triangle, right? So just get some of this schmutz on there. Oh, it's kind of fun. I like that. It's got energy. So if you were to make it kind of smooth, it'd have calmer energy. And I'm making mine a little crazy. By the end, who knows if I'll even see any of what I've done here. It might become something totally different, and that's okay. You just make it what you want. So I could do another wet on dry technique, or I could show you a different technique. I like the wet on dry. I love how it looks. But for our purposes here of showing you some cool stuff, I'll do a wet on wet. So I'm going to make a blob of water. Ooh, and that'll be fun because it'll be with my firework. So I've got a blob of water, and then I'm going to get wet paint. So it's wet on the paper and wet with my paint. And then that can kind of get a little bit more crazy if it wants to. Right? And then the reds and the blues can combine, and they might make a purple. Right? So wet on wet is a lot softer. It fades out into the edges and kind of bleeds. That's kind of fun. Let's see, another wet on wet maybe up here. So we can get it to go into the blues if we want that purpley mixture to start happening. If we don't like it, we can wipe it off. We can, like I said, we're gonna have tons of texture. So who knows what's gonna stay from this and not stay. But you can watch this, see it starts to move and bleed. Oh, we have stripes up here, I forgot that. So it's not gonna stick wherever you have your crayon. Remember, we put crayon on there, so it's not gonna stick where you have crayon. And if you guys watch this later, oops, I just did wet on dry. Let's get the paper wet first. There you go. So if you guys watch this later and you do want to donate, I'm gonna do a donation for getting backpack supplies, school supplies for foster kiddos. I've got some friends that are gonna be putting that together. And so if you do wanna donate for that and help us get some more supplies for the foster kiddos, my friend is a CASA volunteer, and she helps out with that program. So I thought, what better way? I know I could do some art, and I can ask some people if they want to contribute and help the kiddos. So if you want to, I put my Venmo link on the post in the group, so you guys can just Venmo, and I promise all the money will go straight to helping the kiddos get the backpacks and the school supplies for this coming school year. That would be awesome because there's so many kids in need, especially right now. So we are just scribbling. I kind of like this, you guys. What do you think? Are you like, that's a hot mess? I don't know what she's doing today. Oh, the heart's starting to show up. I feel like I need a little bit more of the heart to show up. Let me get a little more blue. Let's go blue. Let's get a little more blue on there. I like the white bits, so I don't want to cover up too much of that. See if the blue fades into the red there. There we go. My cat is crying down the hall. Can you hear him? He's so loud. He talks all the time. He's really crying at the door of my boys' bedroom because they locked themselves in there and they're playing games. And he just wants to go in. Hopefully they'll open it up and let him in. Because poor cat is like, let me in. The other cat just went running too. So that is what we've got. If you guys are just joining us, pop on, say hello, let me know where you're joining from. Totally jump in on this project. If you have any questions of how to get started, just ask, because I'm here. Now, a cool thing you can do with watercolor is you can take water and you can even like drip it on your watercolor. I didn't have enough water. And it will make weird like amoeba shapes. That's what I call it. So you can do this and it'll start to make like water spots, which is kind of fun. You can also get that idea with salt. If you sprinkle salt on it, I'm not going to sprinkle the salt. You have to do it while it's wet. I don't think I'm going to sprinkle the salt. Well, I will in one little spot, or three, because I wasn't going to, but that's because I'm going to paint over it and I don't really want to have to wait for this salt, but I'm going to put it around this firework. So it might be kind of fun for the, you know, that when the fireworks pop and they like go psh, and they get all the fizzly bits. That's what they're called, fizzly bits. So it might be fun to have that. We just got to get it to dry. And the thing is with salt, you really can't let it dry with a hairdryer. You have to let it dry on its own. So it takes a little bit longer. So we're just going to have to work around it at this point, which is fine. Because if I blow dry it, the salt doesn't have time to absorb. So what happens when you put salt on, little science lesson, you put salt on and it soaks up the water, and the water has the color from the watercolor in it. So it'll soak it all up. And then when it's totally dry, you can wipe it off. Pretty cool, right? And it'll leave all these little tiny spots. So I'm going to dry up here because I can. So I'm going to get my heat gun out and I'm going to dry a few little spots, but not the salty spots, okay? Because again, the salty spots have to stay drying on their own. They need that time. The time to dry. All right. Here we go. We're going to dry this up just in some spots. Remember, if you did salt, don't dry the salt. I'm going to dry the blue spots, more or less, just to make sure they're ready for my acrylic paint. Oh, look at that. There was a water spot there. I could get in the middle here, because that's not going to ruin the salt. A little bit over there. Cool. Okay. See? Super quick. Now, another cool thing you can do is if you have a paper towel, or if you have plastic wrap with watercolor, you can scrunch up plastic wrap and set it on there, and then let the plastic wrap stay for a while until it dries. The watercolor underneath dries, and then you can take it off and it'll leave some really cool stuff too. And for me right here, I just wanted to dab up the puddles that I made, not the salt, but the puddles I made when I dripped the water on with the paintbrush. I can dab that stuff up to kind of help dry it quicker. And see see how much it removes. It's super awesome. So just dab some of that up. Here we go. Super easy peasy. All right, so what's next? I'm gonna put away the watercolor. I should have taken the paintbrush off first, but I did not. Okay, so I'm gonna dry up the watercolor. Close up the watercolor here. And we're gonna get out our foil. So in our fun tools, I've got a fork, I've got a straw, I've got a toothbrush that's only used for art, don't worry. I've got a comb. What else? And I've got my bubble wrap. I'm gonna use some of these bottle things. That one might be weird because it has points, but these might be fun. We'll try those. Why not? If you have a Sharpie, you could always draw, once it's dry, you could draw on it with Sharpie. You could write words about, you know, the United States or what you want the United States to be like, or, you know, positive words of affirmation or something like that would be really fun. I used to do a project with the kids. In fact, if you go to the Your Creative Avenue page, last year around this time, I did a flag painting. I think it was this time. I don't think it was like Memorial Day or Veterans Day or something like that. But I did a painting with the flag, and then we wrote words all over it for what we wanted our America to be like. So that is a fun one. You can always go back and check that out if you want to. Okay, so time for the acrylic. Time to have some fun. I thought I should just put one of my solid shirts on today because I was going to put my smile shirt on, but I thought I might get a little bit messy. And I didn't really want to ruin my smile shirt because I love it. It's the Sidewalk Prophets. I don't know if you guys know Sidewalk Prophets, but I think I'm going to use this blue instead. I love the Sidewalk Prophets, and I got their shirt for Christmas that says smile on it. So I didn't really want to ruin it. All right, we are going to put those colors there. I just realized my picture-in-picture is not there, but my face is not there either, which is weird because usually my face is in a bubble. But that's all right, not today. I don't want to use my watercolor brush. I'm going to switch to a paintbrush. Now these are the paintbrushes that I love for kids. They're from Royal Langnickel, and they're the Big Choice paintbrushes. Big Kid Choice, something like that. They're super cheap. You could buy a whole pack of them. They sell them at Blick. I don't know where else. They sell them on Amazon. They hold up well. I like these for the kids. I like other ones too, but these are pretty cool. All right, let's just see. Let's see what we want to do. It's abstract, so we just do anything. Sometimes abstract's actually kind of difficult, huh? Well, let's just put a blob. Let's just put a blob here and see what it does on top of that watercolor. Ooh, that's kind of intense, isn't it? I like the kind of feathered look. Let's try that. Ooh, that's kind of cool what it's doing with the blue underneath. Maybe I'll come across a little farther. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? Red on red looks pretty. Subtle. Oh, see, our salt's starting to do our thing we want it to do right there. That's cool. And I'm not pressing hard here because I'm wanting to get these brush strokes to kind of like come across at the ends. Yeah, that's pretty dope. I like that. I wasn't sure what the heck that was going to be like, but I like it. Anybody else thoughts? You're like, that's weird. It's okay. Totally fine. I started writing another book this morning. You guys, this is what I've been doing because I've been kind of away for a couple reasons, but also one is that I've been taking some classes on how to write picture books for the kiddos. And so I've been practicing and I've been doing the work. There's a lot of work, but it's been really fun. And this morning, I think getting back to painting here got me a little excited, and I wrote the intro of a new book that I like a lot. Oh, I like how that went. What do you guys think about that? That's kind of exciting. It's kind of fun. I do like that. All right, so we're just going to come across here. I like how it kind of broke it up. It's kind of like Galaxy in a way. And you see how the star is starting to get a little bit covered, but that's all right. I think, do I want to just do blue down at the bottom? I've got the red up top. Maybe I'll do blue at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to try that. So that was just acrylic over the top of watercolor. So you can see real quick how those layers work kind of fun together. And if you're a kiddo and right now you're like, I want to take my comb and zigzag through it because it's still wet. You got to do it while it's wet with a comb, okay? Or with anything you want to remove the paint, it has to be wet. So for me, this is already too dry. If you're going to do this and you're using paper, just be very careful that you don't rip your paper. So press light. If it doesn't remove when you press kind of light, it's not going to remove. That means the paint just dried too quick. I've got my kitty cat's fur in my painting. Anyway, so what I was saying, I decided to start another little book this morning, and I like it, which is kind of cool. It's going to be a book about an artist. I think right now the working title is The Little Artist That Just Couldn't, which I like because it's got some fun little play on words for what's going to happen in the story. So the little artist that just couldn't. I like it. Who knows if it'll ever become something, but it will become something from my imagination that I did for either myself or the world. We'll see. And really, that's all that matters, right? As long as you do it for yourself and get the ideas out your brain, then that's a good thing. It doesn't really have to be for everyone else. But if it gets there, then that's like added bonus, in my opinion. I've got about four or five that I'm working on right now. And, it's a process. Sometimes I've been learning in these classes, sometimes these people like write a book. One guy, he's been writing the same book for 20 years. He's got other books published, so it's not like he's only worked on one book. But this one idea just hasn't been published yet, and people like it, and then they want something a little bit more, like his editors and his agents want a little bit more, a little bit different, and he's just not sure where he wants it to go yet. So he's fine that it's taken 20 years so far. And he just, picks it up every now and then and keeps at it. So here's the guys, listen, here's the deal. If you have an idea, and I have been so guilty of this, if you have an idea, just have a little notebook, whether it's a painting or a drawing, or I'm gonna add a little white to my blue here and get it a little lighter, just to see what happens down here if I go a little lighter. Just have a little notebook, and if you get an idea, just stop whatever you're doing and go put it in the notebook, because what happens, and I'm so guilty of this, is the idea drifts away. Boston said something the other day, which was an amazing book idea that had to do with like a cat in the book. And we were like, this is brilliant, we should put this into the book. And then I didn't write it down because I thought, oh, that's easy to remember. I'm totally going to remember that because I love it. And I forgot it. So I went to him the other night. I was like, what was that idea that you had about the cats? Remember? Like the cat in the book? And then he was like, I don't remember, but it was good. Now it's lost in the abyss of our brains forever, maybe. I hope not. I hope it comes back because it was so cute. So now I've got lighter shades of blue. So here's what we are using: red, white, and blue, right? But you can lighten your blue with some white. You can actually darken your blue with some orange. If you put red in it, it's going to be purple, right? Orange? Orange. Yes. I had to think about its complementary color for a second. That's how long it's been. I was like, yellow. No, not yellow. Yellow and blue make green. Can't be yellow. They work together. It's the one that doesn't work that actually works. Isn't that weird? Strange. All right, so this is just fun. I don't know what it is, but I like it. You guys might say that looks like a hot mess. What's that woman doing? She's having fun. And that's what matters. I don't like what's going on down here, so we're gonna have to figure something out there, but that's okay. I've got a plan. I got a plan, people. Okay, I'm gonna do the bubble wrap. I like the bubble wrap. The bubble wrap is fun. You can see that our salt technique has worked, but if I rub it off, it disappears. It's still not dry. It has worked, it's done what it's supposed to do, but if I rub that salt off, it's just gonna blend all that coolness away. So we're not gonna do that. I just wanted to get the cat hair off. Darn cats. And I had a water blob there. But we're not gonna rub that, because see right there? That's what happens if it's not totally dry. So I still don't think I wanna grab those either. Nope, they're not dry. All right, so we are gonna take my white acrylic paint and we are gonna stamp, basically. We're going to stamp our white star idea. Now, they're not stars, I know. They're not stars, but that's okay. We're gonna make them the idea of stars because we're doing abstract art, so that's okay. So I'm gonna paint my bubble wrap, and I'm not gonna paint it evenly. I'm not gonna make like a square of white. I'm just gonna kind of go higher in some spots and lower in some spots. It's okay if I don't get all the spots. So now I've got some bubble wrap painted with white. I think I would like to stamp it right down here. So you just press it on, like the press-on nails, right? Just press it on, tap it down. Don't rub it because it'll smear. We just tap, and then peel it up. Oh, look how fun that is. The hard part about this, the hardest part, is knowing when to stop. Because you start having too much fun, and then you're like, I gotta stop. I gotta make another picture because this one's got to be done. Otherwise, it's going to be too much. But I don't think we're quite there yet. I don't think it's too much yet. Or maybe you like it to be a whole heck of a lot, and then that's okay too. Let's put this one here in the middle. I don't know if I should have done it right dead center, but I did. So we're just gonna tap, tap, tap. And then if you didn't get your bubbles to like show up as much as you want, I would recommend not laying right back over the top of the same one, because it's gonna be almost impossible for you to get it to line up exactly right. Now there's gonna be someone out there that's like, that's a challenge, I'm gonna get it to go exactly right. That would have been me. I would have been like, I accept the challenge. And then I may or may not have gotten it to go exactly right. But it's very difficult to get it to go exactly right. So just leave it, is my recommendation. I'm gonna put a little down here because this is very like solid. I do like it, but it's very solid. That kind of looks like a big heart, doesn't it? Oh, I like that. Okay. And I'm gonna think about which angle I'm putting these down on. So this one went that way, this one went a little bit more up, and this one's gonna come across this way. That way we get different kind of movement going on, and your eye starts to kind of travel around. If I put them down all exactly the same, it'll just kind of be a repeated little pattern. Which if you want a pattern, that's fine. But I'm going for wild and crazy, okay? So, tap, 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 and peel. Oh, isn't it fun? So fun. Okay, so let's see. Do I want some more up here? I think I'm not going to. I think I'm gonna use a different technique higher up, because otherwise it'll just be bubble wrap everywhere. So the bubble wrap's gonna be low down. And then let's see about maybe stamping some circles, some rings. Okay, so I'm gonna get this brush had blue on it and I rinsed it, but I didn't rinse it great. So I'm just gonna paint the edge. I could dip this in the paint as well if I wanted to, but I'm just gonna paint the edge, okay? And I'm gonna stamp this up here. Kind of like the Olympic rings. Who's gonna watch the Olympics? Oh, we have some of the trials, whatever, saved. We've got to check it out. Oh, I like that. That's kind of fun. So I'm gonna do a few different sizes. So I'll get the big ones on, then I'll get some littler ones on. Whoa, my shake is happening. Can you guys see it? It's crazy. Shake way too much. Oh, I can't hold things with my thumbs, which is a problem because we need thumbs to hold things, I guess. My cat, Zori, she wants to be a human. It's terribly obvious that she wants to be a human and that she's rather sad she's not a human, I think. That looks like eyeballs now. Put another one. But she wants to do everything we do, and we have to tell her she doesn't have thumbs. She can't do it all. But she does want to. She tries. She sits and observes everything. Like everything. The other day, the boys and I were playing 3-person solitaire, like together as a family. And this stamper is working great. I haven't had to repaint it again. That's nice. I did once, but that's it. That's nice. And I like how it kind of starts to drift away. Well, that reminds me of a song. Don't worry, I won't sing. But she was sitting right there. She just curled up like it was 1, 2, 3, and then she sat where a 4th person would fit. Like, how do I play solitaire with the children? It was funny. Maybe I'll use one of these. Okay, so this is a little dauber. If y'all are just hopping on, say hi. So this is a little dauber. You can stick it on the end of your finger, and then you can stamp. So I don't know that I have a lot of blue left there, but I can grab some blue and I can grab some white, and I can put some little dots. Ooh, that's fun. I like it. We put a little blue and white on there together. Let's see what happens. Oh, so like I pressed hard on that one, so you get like the ring around it. Let's see what happens if I press a little lighter. Just a little blue on that one. It's kind of cool. What do you think? Kind of fun? Kind of fun. This is a fun project, y'all. It's no rules. No one can say, that's not good. I don't think you know what you're doing. You could just do it. That's what's great. Just have fun creating. And no one gets to tell you if you're good at it or not. You just get to have fun with it. They might tell you, but you don't have to listen to it, right? That's the cool part. We get to choose what we want to listen to on that. And not everyone's going to like your art, right? There's going to be people that love something. There's going to be some people that just can't stand the exact same thing. And I think that's okay. Because the right people will like your stuff, and then those are the people you want to share your stuff with. Right? I like this. The bubbles are fun. I kind of don't want to mess up the heart because I do want to add some black later on, and I might actually put a line around it. Oh, that little swirl, I forgot he was under there, you guys. Okay. I'm going to do a different stamper now. The whole hard part here is to just kind of make sure you keep your space kind of clean. Should we use the firework? I think it's too much for this. No, I'm putting it up there. I thought it was too much for this one, but I want it right there where that star is. So let's see. This one is kind of old, and it's seen better days, but I didn't paint a new one, and I didn't clean this one as well as I probably should have. So this will just be kind of a crazy firework. So we're just putting some white paint on. You want to make sure you get enough. You could put any color, but if you're sticking with our color palette, red, white, or blue, or black, but you want to get enough paint on that it'll come off. And then try to keep your fingers clean. If your fingers are starting to get messy, wipe them off, because if you need them to push things down, you don't want too much paint to come off, right? So, or maybe you don't care. So we're going to go right up here. Figure out which direction you want it to go. Kind of going right over my star. All right, so I'm going to hold that down, and then for me, I need to press. So if your fingers get too messy with the pressing, grab a baby wipe or a paper towel and just wipe them off, okay? Because you need to have clean, or pick another finger like I just did. You need to have kind of a clean finger to make this work. And I don't know if I even have enough paint on it, but it'll make something. We'll see what happens. Ah, yes, it did work. It is like a little firework up there. I like it. I feel like I kind of want one right here. What do you guys think? Yep. I'm going to paint half of this now. I don't need to paint the whole thing if I'm not going to use the whole thing. It's just a waste of paint. So we're going to put half of it over here. So I'm probably going to do this painting here in this group. Then I might hop on over to your Creative Avenue in a minute and do another one over there. A different one, not abstract, maybe. I was going to do popsicles or ice cream cones today. My kids have been eating popsicles like crazy. So, I mean, I feel like crazy, but it's really been like maybe 2 of them a week. We just never usually eat popsicles. Ooh, fun. I love it. That's only 2, but I feel like it's okay. Here's why. You know, I say work in odd numbers, but I feel like it's okay because we have 1 here, and then this one that we did with crayon kind of mimics the idea of these. So this is crayon, but those are paint, right? But there's still the same kind of explosion idea, so I think it's totally okay. I'm loving this, you guys. I think it's almost done. It's really fun. I think I'm gonna add maybe a little pastel. Now pastel's kind of annoying because it gets on everything. So if you do add pastel, be careful because it does get on everything. And I'm just gonna use it for a few little fun like curves, maybe right around here, just to kind of accent. Now that's red on blue and it looks really dark. And let's see what it does red on red. That's cool. I'm just gonna accent these little bubbles, if you will. little bubbles. I'm not touching them because they are still wet, so I don't really want to touch them too much. I'm actually going to accent the little rings as well. The rings are cool. Yeah, it's just fun. Just adds like one more texture. Maybe I could do it inside and outside. Yeah, why not? Just adds one more texture. That looks like an eyeball with a smile. It's a monster. Yeah, adds one more texture, adds one more layer. Maybe I could do a couple hearts. What do you think? Is it too cheesy to do a few hearts? No, let's do it. But do I want them in white? No, red. So I'm just going to put a little heart here. Because our heart there kind of got lost, didn't it? Let's do 2. Interlocking little hearts. Oh, I like that. Okay, I'm going to add another one up here. Because that was kind of fun. Red on red doesn't show up as much, but still pretty. You could color them in, you could smear them. Remember, with oil pastel, if you rub it, it's gonna smear, okay? 1, 2, and then 3, and then I gotta do a 4th because I got 2 kiddos, and then me and the hubs. That's 4. 4 hearts. That's us and the kiddos. All right. I know, even numbers. Not good, but there's only 4 of us, so, you pick your battles. All right, I think I want to add a little black paint. Black? Yeah, I think I'm gonna add a little black. And I'm just gonna add the black to give some line work. It's fun, why not? Do a little abstractedness. Do I want that brush? I think I want a bigger brush. I just got all these new brushes. This brush is what I want. Now, the problem for me is that skinnier liner brushes with my trimmer, I shake a lot, so it's hard to control. Oh, did you hear that cat? It's hard for me to control it, so we'll see what happens. I'll give myself grace whenever I try this sort of thing. I really want to just do this big heart right here, but I don't know if this is the right size brush for that, but let's do it anyway. See, now we're getting a 5th heart. 5th heart, maybe that's for the cats. Oh, maybe that's, I'm a big, I love God, so maybe that's the center, that's God for me. Just make it whatever it is for you. That's what matters. You just make it what it is for you and what you love, right? I do like that. I'm gonna put a fish down here. Because it looks like the sea down here to me, and maybe some bubbles, a little fishy. I like that. That's fun. Yeah, y'all, this is cool. Okay, so I think I might be kind of done. I feel like I want to just do something extra to this little guy, like little. Yeah, then it feels like it has some energy, right? And maybe a little bit right here. Yeah, just give it a little bit more energy. Now it's like it's moving. Now there's like movement everywhere, energy happening. It's exciting. I feel like the fish needs some too. Yeah. Probably would have been better around his tail, since the tail's what moves. The whole fish moves, but I like it. I really want to put a dot in here and just make it a monster, but it seems like that's a little too obvious. If I just put like a pupil right there and we have a monster. I'm going to do it because it's silly. It really does look like a little monster snuck in there. All right, you guys, I think this one's done. So I hope you guys had fun. If you guys do this project, I would love, love, love to see what you come up with today, tomorrow, later in the week, whatever it is. Maybe you decide you don't want 4th of July colors. You want to use your own color palette and do that. If you do that, just be careful with how your colors are going to mix. And I'm not saying don't mix all the colors, because you'll learn something. If you mix all the colors, you'll learn what happens when you mix all the colors, right? So just be aware of what happens when you mix the colors, learn from it, and take what you learn and maybe use it in your next painting. I've got to give it an eye shine right there. He's a real monster in there. Oh, I'm glad that didn't land on my paper. Anyways, you guys, I think this is it for my abstract art for today. We've gone almost an hour. So I think that we did it. I think this says 4th of July. It's got lots of energy, definitely feels, patriotic, definitely feels like there's lots of energy happening with the firework explosion and this awesome red piece that goes through and the burst of blue coming up, and how much cool stuff we've got going on, floating around. I like it. I think it's kind of fun. Let me know what you think. You don't have to love it. Just because I love it, just because I painted it, doesn't mean you have to love it, right? But I think it's kind of fun, and I think I enjoy it, and that is what matters. So paint what you enjoy today, or tomorrow. Paint something that makes you smile and makes you happy. If you paint something that you don't love, just paint something else. It's easy to do. All right, friends. Have a great day. And remember, if you do want to, I'll add it into this post if I can. I don't know if I can. Maybe in the comments here I could. But I'll add the QR link for my Venmo in case you do want to help contribute to school supplies for the foster kiddos in need with CASA. I'm going to be helping to give some money for that so we can get some school supplies. My friend who's doing it is in Colorado, so I can't just buy the school supplies because they got to get to Colorado. So I'll ask her to go get them. She's fine with that. So I haven't asked her if she's fine, but I know she's fine with it. So anyways, you guys, thanks for helping. Thanks for painting, and I can't wait to see what y'all come up with. Have a happy week, everyone. Happy 4th of July. Bye.